There is a village in England where the church bells ring without a church. Greyhollow doesn't appear on tourist maps anymore. Not because it was abandoned, but because people stopped returning. The road to Greyhollow. I first heard about Greyhollow in 2016 while researching unexplained rural disappearances. Every report mentioned the same thing. Bells heard after midnight. No visible source. Victims found days later, alive but empty. No memory.
No emotion. No reflection.
Arrival before sunset. Greyhollow looked ordinary. Stone cottages. Narrow lanes. A dead churchyard with no church standing. Just a bell tower. Alone. Still.
No rope.
No bell inside. And yet. The first rule. An old woman stopped me near the inn. She grabbed my coat and whispered, "If you hear bells at night, do not count them." I laughed politely. I shouldn't have.
Midnight, 12:43 Uhr nachts.
The bells rang. Slow. Deep. Coming from everywhere. Not loud, close. Inside my head. 1, 2, 3. I stopped counting. But my mind didn't. The shadows gather. Through the window, I saw people standing in the street. Not moving. Not breathing.
Didn't you? The bell tower's secret. There was no church. Just the tower. Stone blackened with age. Inside, there was no bell hanging. Instead, names. Hundreds of names carved into the inner walls. Each name followed by time. 1201, 1243, 117, all after midnight. The meaning of the bells. An old journal lay open on the floor, written by a former vicar. The bells are not metal. They are voices. Every soul that listens becomes part of the ringing. I felt sick. I recognized one of the names. It was mine, already carved. The woman who counted. The old woman from the night before appeared behind me. Her ears were bleeding. She whispered. I counted once. I reached 7. My husband reached 8. She looked at me. No one reaches 9. Midnight comes early. The sun vanished behind thick fog. My watch showed 6:12 p.m., but the bells rang again. Louder. Closer. The tower began to vibrate, and the names began to bleed. The fog thickened until the village disappeared. Greyhollow no longer felt like a place. It felt like a moment stuck, repeating. When time slips, my watch stopped at 12:43 a.m., the exact time carved beside my name. People stood frozen in the streets, mouths open slightly, eyes glassy. They weren't listening anymore. They were waiting. The 9th ring. The old woman grabbed my arm with shaking hands. When the 9th ring comes, she whispered, someone is taken to become the bell. I asked her what happens to the body. She shook her head. There is no body, only sound. Inside the tower. Against every instinct, I climbed the tower stairs. Each step echoed like a bell strike. At the top was a circle of stone, and in the center, a man, or what used to be one. His chest was hollow. Inside him, air moved, and when he breathed, the bell rang. The truth of Greyhollow. The journal pages turned by themselves. The village was built over an older listening place. The bells keep the dead from speaking all at once. If too many voices escaped, the village wouldn't just disappear. It would spread, chosen by sound. The ringing grew faster. 8th ring. The hollow man looked at me. His mouth moved, but the sound came from the tower itself. You hear clearly. My ears burned. Blood ran down my neck. The 9th ring was coming. The 8th ring faded slowly. The sound didn't stop. It stretched, like a breath held too long. The bell that wore a face. The hollow man stepped forward. His skin rippled. A face pushed out from his chest, screaming silently. Then another, and another. Each face rang a different tone. This was the bell. Not metal. People. Why the bells exist. The journal burned as I touched it. Words seared into my thoughts instead. The bells bind the dead voices. Without them, the moor would sing forever. Greyhollow wasn't cursed. It was a seal, and the seal required replacements. The 9th ring begins. The tower shook violently. Villagers outside fell to their knees, hands over ears. The old woman screamed, "Don't let it finish." The hollow man reached for me. My chest burned. I could feel space opening inside me. Breaking the count. I remembered her warning. Do not count. So I did the only thing left. I screamed. Loud. Offbeat. Human. The ringing faltered. The tower cracked. The bell cracks. A sound like breaking glass filled the air. Faces peeled away from the hollow man, dissolving into fog. The ninth ring stalled, half-formed. The tower leaned, and outside, the village began to move again. The ninth ring never finished. It died halfway through the sound. And in that broken moment, Greyhollow remembered silence. When the bell stopped, the tower collapsed inward, not outward. Stone folded like paper. The hollow man fell apart into fog, faces screaming without sound as they dissolved into the air. For the first time since I arrived, I couldn't hear anything. No ringing, no echoes, no thoughts pushing back at me. The cost of silence. People collapsed in the streets, crying, breathing, alive, but changed. Some clutched their ears, whispering names they couldn't place. Others stared at the tower ruins, terrified of the quiet. The old woman sat beside me. It will never ring again, she said. But now, the voices are free. What escaped? That night, fog rolled out of Greyhollow. Not inward, outward, across the moor, carrying whispers, carrying names. Greyhollow didn't vanish. It emptied. After Greyhollow, weeks later, the village was sealed by authorities, marked unsafe, uninhabitable, but nearby towns began reporting things. Bells heard with no churches. People waking at 12:43 a.m. Names appearing on walls. Different places. Same sound. The final warning. Greyhollow didn't need bells anymore. The world was listening now. If you ever hear ringing at night, don't count.